Welcome, Nate.
Hey, Jack.
Welcome, everybody. This will be the quarterly report for 5210 Fund 1 for Q2 of 2021. Let's get started on the right-hand side. So capital metrics, we have a little over $8 million total. Now, this is as of the end of Q2. Obviously, we're in the middle of a capital raise right now, and that does not include new capital. The portfolio, we went through a stated valuation. So you're going to see on one of the latter pages that the unit values went up in price. So reflective of the stated value that increased there. Portfolio debt remained just about the same, a little reduction in some principal. And the total appreciation bumped up about 10%. So Q2 highlights. We got a new asset manager. We spent a big portion of Q2 training the asset manager to help Nate. We did the due diligence on the new park that we have in escrow, and then we also moved Santa Rita Heights closer to the finish line. So that new acquisition that we opened was a 246 space park in Mesa, Arizona, which we'll talk a little bit more further on in this report. On the business side of things, the asset manager that we hired has turned out to be a valuable addition to the team. She's taken a lot of the day-to-day stuff off of Nate's plate, which allows us to focus on fine-tuning processes and scaling operations and taking on a nice new park. So portfolio, again, performed better than projected in Q2. The new staff that we've hired, and Nate will touch on that as he goes through our parks here. It's getting more done than the previous staff we had, and the portfolio is still ahead of projections. So let me hand the baton to you, Nate, and you can go through each one of these parks and just tell me when you want me to move on.
Yep. So let's touch first, Oasis Gardens, OGRV Park. Q2 was busier than normal. It's mainly because we transitioned a new management team on site, and we're focused on getting them trained and getting them settled, and they are a perfect fit for OG. She's got a ton of background in customer service, and he's been around a long time on the maintenance side, so they're going to be an awesome fit. So from here, we've got about 3 months until the season starts really down there mid-October, and we're gearing up for a big season compared to last year. We've got a ton of activity, particularly with resort rentals. At this point last year, we were struggling. People weren't interested in the middle of COVID to come stay in the RV park. But as of right now, all of our resort rentals are sold out, which tells us we're really excited about the activity that we've got coming up for the season. So projects wise, huge capital improvement project starts tail end of this week, early next week. That is the brand new asphalt in the entire community. It's going to be a massive upgrade. We've also redone our logo at the park, and that's going to give us an opportunity to redo some of the signage inside the park, but then also a big monument sign we're going to redo as well. So I think overall, we're really focused on having a good season and getting the new team get their feet underneath them before the season starts. So the next project is Central Park Estates. We also have a new team there as well. They're about 2 months deep at this point, and they went through training really well. They've come out the other side, and I'm really excited about having them on board as well. They've got MH experience and apartment experience, so they fit perfectly into the role there, which we're really excited about. Capital improvements wise, we've rehabbed a few more homes there and expect them to be on the market within the next couple of weeks. We've got a lot of interest, and what's really interesting is that with the economy in general going crazy as it has, and home prices going crazy as it has, it's had a similar impact on the cost for buyers to get into used mobile homes. So the homes that we've had on site that we've been able to rehab, we're going to be able to sell them for more than what we had expected. So that'll be a nice surprise. And also we've just got a ton of interest. So we're going to be picky with the type of residents that we get. So overall, continue to execute the plan as we always have. So Jack, let's hit the next page. So the next park here is Santa Rita Heights. I'm not going to touch on this a whole lot, but I will share with everyone that we have the park in escrow to sell, and we're scheduled for close of escrow early next week. So we actually have it in escrow for $2.1 million. The buyer is non-refundable, so we're signing documents tomorrow, and I would expect that deal to fund. But as a reminder to everyone, we invested about $800,000 into that deal over the course of the ownership. And if we do close it early, like next week, like we planned, we'll have owned it for about 29 months. So that's a healthy return that we're really excited to execute for all of our investors. Next park, Melody Court. Q2 proved to be a sweet spot for home sales. So we put a ton of effort Q1 into getting homes ready, executing on a massive marketing campaign. If you don't remember, we sold 2 homes in Q1, but in Q2 here, we sold 5. So those were all the homes that we intended on selling in the first half of the year, and we crushed it. Really excited about how that all went. That should add roughly $3,000 a month to top line revenue. Improvements that we completed, rehabbed manager's home. We redid some lighting and some repairs around the park just to give it a better vibe at night. And then various painting projects, which I always love because they're inexpensive and they make a big impact. So planned improvements moving forward, we're going to, before everybody comes back, so if you guys don't remember, half that park is full-time residents. The other half is, we'll call it snowbird residents. Everybody comes back October, November, similar to the OG. So before everybody gets back, what we want to do is upgrade the pool area, and then also we're going to tackle some of the other park-owned homes to rehab and sell. I think we only have 4 left there. That will be all the park-owned homes that we have to rehab and sell from when we purchased the park. And when we purchased it, it was roughly 15. So we've been busy there, and it's going to show in the revenue side. Last 2, Jack, if you want to flip to the next slide, please. Palo Verde and Country Breeze. So Palo Verde, this continues to be a performer. I'm excited about where this park sits in the market out in the East Valley. And we've got a lot of demand. We've got a lot of room to move rents there, which I will definitely execute on over the coming years. So completed projects, we did some major landscaping, tree cleanup, ground improvements, various painting projects there as well. We don't have a tremendous amount of work to do at that park, so it's not a really heavy lifting capital improvement type project. It's more on the management side, but I always like to spend some money on the ground so everybody sees that we're investing back into the property. Planned improvements moving forward. We've got some more common area improvements that we're going to do, various painting projects, and then we do have 1 vacant pad that I want to fill sometime between now and the end of the year with likely a used home. That's a little tough right now to find a ton of used homes that make sense. So we'll take our time and find something there and pull it in and do some rehab work on it and then likely sell it. But overall, things are going great. So Country Breeze, this is our latest and greatest acquisition. The biggest challenge at this park has definitely been the management side of turning the park around. So if you guys remember, I recruited an existing team of ours that was down at Central Park Estates in February and asked them if they would come to Yuma and manage Country Breeze for us. I knew that it was going to be a heavy lifting project. It was going to require a special team there, both on the management and the maintenance side. And I'm glad that I did, because the team that we got there is absolutely the right team. They are doing amazingly well. And I've got them some support, and they're going to need that support for probably the first 12 months that they're there. So for the next 6 months, they're going to have some additional support by the way of assistant manager. We've also hired an additional maintenance tech. They're both going to be a huge help. And what's really nice is we're getting some economies of scale in Yuma because we've got 3 parks there. So if we need a maintenance tech at another property, I've got the resources here at Country Breeze that we can lend out to those other parks if we need them, which keeps overall expenses down of the entire fund. So moving forward, implementation of new leases, statements of policy, rules and regulations. It was a humongous project. Imagine getting all that stuff signed by 150 different homes and all the residents in there and coordinating it. But my team did it with flying colors. They were working Saturdays, knocking on doors, holding kind of parties to get everybody to sign. So it's a bit of an art form, but we did get it done. We continue to really bring everybody up in the community up to the standards for keeping their homes clean and working with everybody to get on the new schedule that we require. Everybody pays on month by the by the 5th of the month. And if they don't, then they start racking up late fees. That's a really new thing for them. For decades, they haven't had that kind of structure and requirement. So it's a long road to get them turned around and getting them moving in the right direction and getting them to follow all the new rules. But it is going, and it's going to continue to take some time. I would expect at least through the end of the year. So capital improvement projects, we're still able to get some stuff done there. We've got pool upgrades that we did, and we replaced about 20% of the water meters in the entire park, which will save us time and energy down the road too. Project moving forward, we've got some homes that we do need to rehab and consider with the water meter replacement, and continue to push on compliance. So that park is going well. It is turning a big ship, but it's definitely going in the right direction. And we've got some horsepower down there, and we got the right people at the helm looking after it on site and also off site. So I think that's it for me, Jack.
Hey, I didn't, if I remember correctly, you guys did a huge like cleanup with a bunch of dumpsters and that kind of thing too.
We did that park. The previous owner, they really didn't care what people had in their yards and what kind of stuff they had around. And when that happens, it can accumulate pretty heavy. So we did a big cleanup. It was 2 Saturdays, and we took out 6 40-yard dumpsters of just junk that had to go. So we called it a cleanup party, and we got the dumpsters, and we got 4 or 5 guys to help people carry things to the dumpster. So it was a huge success. We still got a little bit more to go, but it looks incredibly good down there now.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of neat when you get the community to kind of band together like that too. So
yeah, they were pretty excited that we did that. It shows that we care and we went above and beyond. So that holds a lot of water for us.
Yep. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's talk about new acquisitions. Now, obviously, this fund is closing. With respect to the market, I'm gonna focus on the left side here first. Nothing's really changed. So everything that we've seen happen with respect to high demand, prices climbing, cap rates compressing, that's still the case, and nothing has changed there. Market's still just as hot as it's been for quite some time. When we're done with this round of capital, Fund 1 will be closed. We've already received all the commitments, so we don't need any more. Fund 2 is still open to accredited investors on a first come, first served basis. And then like we've done here in Fund 1, those doors will open and close each time we get ready to acquire a park. So this next acquisition, both funds are going to have an interest in this property here. Even though today it's called M&M Mobile Villa, we're going to rebrand it to Palm Harbor Estates. That property absolutely needs a facelift on the branding side and on the whole community presence. So we'll do that. As you guys have seen from earlier stuff that we've shared, this is a local park right here in the Phoenix metro area. The purchase price is $25 million, and that includes a park. But what's really neat, and we kind of got lucky here, is it also includes about 100 park-owned homes. So 246 pads, it's a family park. It's going to be in really high demand. We're pretty excited. Because this acquisition is kind of split between Fund 1 and Fund 2, I think the gift that we got here is Fund 1 will close in about 5 years. Fund 2 has a 10-year terminal exit date. So we'll be able to extract the value that Fund 1 needs to get out of the park through the sale of those homes pretty easily in that 5-year period. So even if we end up carrying paper on some of those notes, we expect that we'll easily be able to have Fund 1 get their portion of value out of this park before it closes. Now let's move to the final page, and let's talk about the performance of the fund. So kudos to you and your team, Nate. You hit 138.43% of your original projections. So slightly down from last quarter, but that's due to we were able to skip some debt service last quarter. 247,000 and change of distributable net cash flow, and that puts us in the bonus again for the second quarter in a row. So 12.3% annualized for the quarter. For the year, investor capital has earned 7.27 from distributions. And then you'll see that the units went up from, I think it was 1,071 last quarter. And we went up to $1,119 per unit. So that's a capture of conservative appreciation that's taken place directly from the increase in cash flow that's occurred. So to wrap this up, Q2 proved to be a strong quarter. We exceeded the preferred return to investors in Q2. Distributions are in process. I'll actually push the button on those tomorrow. Investors who, actually, they'll be on the 20th of the month. Investors who receive a direct deposit will see those arrive in their account probably 3 to 5 days after I push that button. And then anyone who's reinvesting will see their capital account grow. You're going to be able to see, like always, the P&L balance sheet and a copy of this along with your individual statement in the portal through Verivest. And then you can always access that portal top right corner of the front page of our website. So that concludes our quarterly report for Q2. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And if you want to reinvest or you want to look at Q2, reach out to me as well. So thanks to everyone. And thank you, Nate.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a wonderful weekend.